you know, things happen when you do a walk and talk, especially someone like me, those of us who have smaller channels. We don't always get the signals, and often we get kicked off or booted off intentionally. We know this because it happens only to us quite often. So I'm trying to get a walk and get some exercise in and not get hit. I can't even be in my own yard without that young man I used to work with, golden boy, trying to run me down in the yard. So I am prime target now, and I'm about to walk past a house where I know that certain people reside because of the car there and the stickers on the car. They like Tom and Jerry. So again, these people, they think they hide things and they don't, but that's what I want to talk about a little bit. I've had some people tell me, well, you know, maybe this is all electronic, maybe it's all technological. And I do agree with that. There are channels, obviously, that just come to certain channels like bots. And I know some of the channels that come to my channel are just AI bots sent to cause discord, sent to cause division, sent to gaslight, sent to post propaganda. And they do it, especially if you look under like Trump or Biden, you'll see nothing but bots and propaganda. And you can tell it is because of how flattering it is, right? Like, oh, we love you, this, that, and the other. Now, people can be that way. I'm not going to deny that people idolize the man like he's some kind of god. But at the same time, that's AI, you know? Like, you could tell it's not human. Most people can, anyways. But I want to talk about that a little bit, about how it's not just electronics that's doing this, that is gaslighting us, okay? It is people and their behavior. My spouse is in his 50s. He's 6 years older than me. He's the one who taught me a lot. I am very behind. I've led a very sheltered life, even though I was the provider for 25 years, 20-something years. I led a pretty sheltered life. I didn't expose myself to a lot of things. I was just unaware of a lot of things, especially when it comes to like sensual deviance and stuff like that. I didn't know, you know? I didn't seek things out, so I wasn't aware of them. Hey, how are you? Hope y'all are doing well. So, anyways, he said something the other day in regards to our marriage license that I had him go get a copy of, and I told you guys there's something going on with the courts, and I've been saying this since my first channel, since 2019. I have said AI is in charge already, that there is nobody minding the store, as they used to say, as my grandparents used to say. There's nobody in charge. A lot of what you're seeing is AI. Washington, D.C. has been shut down since 2019. I don't care what you say in my chat. I don't care what they tell you on the screen. Since BLM, the first round of BLM, and BLM, you want to look at Bureau of Land Management. They are trying to tell you stuff. We have helpers. When somebody gets on the screen, though, and they get screen time, and they're a good guy trying to help the public, they're not going to come right out and tell you stuff, because then they don't get screen time anymore. So they're giving us clues, guys. BLM stands for Bureau of Land Management. They are going to rape the land in America again to pay off our debts to China and any other country that we owe. REM, all of these sleep stages that they're using, it also stands for mining, rare earth minerals. That's what they're after. In the Appalachian Mountains, in Arkansas, they have a lot of them. In the Ozarks, that's what they're after. However, at the beginning of Rona, when Corona first started, and Trump was in office, they made an announcement on TV that he was going to the Cheyenne Center. Look how pretty. Everything's nice and green and lush. Anyways, in 2019, they made an announcement on TV because, again, I'm off work. I'm waiting for my disability thing to go through or not go through. And I'm glued to the television because for years, again, I was sheltered. I wasn't watching this stuff. I knew nothing about anything other than what I was taught in school and what I knew from my job. That's it. You learn what you need to know here. You're on a need-to-know basis. So in 2019, they made the announcement that Trump was going to the Cheyenne Mountains. Thank you for subbing. And then quickly, you heard nothing else about it. And then Biden was brought in. Now I'm telling you, and people are saying, oh, there's these masks, there's this going on, there's that going on. You want to know what's going on? A whole lot of green screens. That's what's going on. That's why the White House looks different. That's why he always looks different. That's why the size of him is different. Although that has to do with the Giants being... Because people will be like, what are you talking about? If you haven't visited my channel before, we're not going to tell you any more lies. We want to know what's really going on. And we are, I am not food, but we are in part a food source as well. Human resources, they use us for whatever they can. What you got to do, and what I've already done, is reclaim your sovereignty, and you have to declare it out loud. I am reclaiming my free will. I am a sovereign being. Now, in 2019, everything I believe was switched over to AI. How do I know this? Because I worked in a cell phone tech center, and I was what they called a subject matter expert. We had something called the intranet instead of the internet. Everything I needed to know was in our operating system, the OS, our home-based intranet. It was the internet, but just for our company. I can tell when the internet is being looped. My internet, I'm pretty sure, is being looped back around. This means that probably most towns, most cities, that's why they shut down RT, because our RT was giving, this is a bunkhouse for the Masons. I don't know that for a fact. I just think that it is, but here, so that's why I see the symbolism. They got a pool, they got horses, nobody's ever there. When people are there, it's different cars and whatnot, and now they're tearing down more beautiful trees to rape more land over here. I'm pretty sure that's a Mason clubhouse. But anyways, AI is already in charge, guys, and the sooner people wake up to that, the sooner we can be free, because I'm ready to just walk away from my life at this point. I seriously am. I don't know where Trump's actually at, if he's still with us, if he's still got his sovereignty, if he's still alive. I'm seeing that certain people are synthetic. They're saying, oh, Mariah Carey hasn't aged. Dude, look at Mariah Carey, Martin Lawrence, Winona, the singer. None of them move right. I'm pretty sure those are synthetic droids. And I have it on good authority. All I know is this phrase: they're all shutting down. That's what I know. This is why you're seeing people on the streets looking like they're sleeping. They're not actual people. We're stuck in freaking Disney World where not everybody is an actual person. Just watch that wrestling guy. What's his name? I made a video about him. Jackson. He's got a button in his hand, and the tech comes over to the side of the wrestling ring to fix him because he's stuck. The sooner people wake up, I just don't know what to say about any of this anymore, because it is shocking. When you hear it, you're like, what are these people going on about? Are they crazy? But it's true, and you don't want to believe it. Now, I'm also going to talk about a spiritual awakening, and most people probably aren't going to stay for this, but in all honesty, it. So I took the path of sinning a lot. Now, sovereign at that time, and I don't think I understood the heart of the gospel. I knew about eternal life and Jesus, and I love Jesus. But I didn't quite understand. And I left for a while, and all these resignations, you've seen nothing but resignations all over since 2019. And a lot of the people who are taking over look to be of Asian descent. I would not doubt that it's China come in to take over because we owe them money. And what they're taking for the debt is our land. And they're trying to do it, I appreciate this, they're trying to do it in such a way in which they don't ruin the land, the natural resources, and I think in which they don't decimate the population, it seems like so far. However, people who are on disability like me, the elderly, and people who do not procreate, those are the ones who are in danger, the houseless, the most vulnerable, because there is a purge or a culling happening, and it's been happening since I was in Florida in 2018. I know because I was on that chopping block. Now, some of these mystical experiences I've had, people aren't going to understand, but I'm going to talk about them because I don't know what to do about them. Years ago, and I'm not, please understand, I am not holy. Like I want to be, but my sanctification process is not the same as yours. I'm figuring out my salvation with fear and trembling. Like every day is a struggle and a test for me. I've stopped eating animals because I cannot participate in doing any kind of harm any longer because of my past. I'm not telling you not to do that. I'm not judging you. I'm telling you that's what I've had to do. Okay? That has acted as my sanctification process because I no longer am a tomb for those bodies. And I've lucid dreamed since I was a child. And I think this is why these people try to use me, almost like the Matrix. They try to use me as a battery. Like that girl, like the fortune teller in the Bible where Paul, tells her to go away and delivers her, and those guys can't use her anymore. Only my gift came back when I started talking to God again. And it left when my mother handed me a Ouija board at age 12. So I know it's of God. And I know when they're met all the time. You'll have that with our walk and talks. But I'm going to keep going. Keep going. But I thought it meant that I wasn't worthy enough, that I wasn't good enough to be in Christ's kingdom. Because even in the letter, I was like, I promise I'll be a good girl. These people here don't like me. I have no purpose here. But there I could help people transition. I know that I could be good in helping people and talking to them and helping them to cross over. Like that was specifically the job that I asked for. And he didn't reply. And so for years, I stayed with the church another couple of years till I was confirmed, because we, in the Catholic Church, you're taught that salvation is a process, right? That, once saved, always saved. That's dangerous because, you get complacent with Trump signs. Green is your show and the pick. And green is your show and the pick. Any moment they sign, do anything like that with a marker or crayon or a colored pencil or a pencil. But this is my pencil. But this is my husband. he's 50 some years old. And he's 50 some years old. This is a wise man who taught me a lot. This is a wise man who taught me a lot with if it was just like the system and just like the system and or something in the villagers. I have people repeating the same phrases to me. Different people. The spiritual awakenings